没有任何的国家在全世界能够做这个的。政府决定做，绝对。
为什么全世界都拿中国没办法？
dass das chinesische Volk ein uraltes Kulturvolk ist, dass die ältesten chinesischen Schriftzeichen beinahe 1000 Jahre älter sind als die 5 Bücher Mose im Alten Testament. Die chinesische Kultur ist heute mindestens 4000 Jahre alt. Die Schriftzeichen stammen aus dem Jahre 3000 vor Jesus Christus.
Ist Alter ein Wert an sich? Kann eine Kultur nicht auch überaltert sein?
Das Faszinierende ist, dass dieses uralte Kulturvolk plötzlich zu einer Vitalität erwacht, mit der heute vor 30 Jahren niemand in Amerika und niemand in Europa gerechnet hat. Die sind nicht überaltert, die sind voller Kraft.
Warum?
Das ist auch für mich ein Rätsel. Sie unterscheiden sich in einem Punkt von allen anderen Kulturvölkern der Welt.
2,000 years later.
I'm going to go ahead and share with you some of the first impressions that I've noticed and pretty much let you glimpse into the life that I'm living here in Suzhou. Let's start this video. So before we dive into it, I just want to talk a little bit about where I am. The city that I'm living in currently is called Suzhou. It's about a 2-hour drive or a 30-minute bullet train ride away from Shanghai. With over 10 million people, Suzhou is one of the most popular tourist destinations in China, but I'll save that for another video. So a few impressions that I've had so far of China, one being the people are super friendly. I feel there is a stereotype that Chinese people might be considered rude or pushy, and I haven't experienced any of that yet here in China. Everyone is very accommodating and very friendly. Also, the area I'm living in China is very modern. You pretty much will be able to find
2,000 years later.
In the world, how many do you think are in China? Well, let me tell you. 7. How many do you think are in the United States? None. How many do you think are in Europe? None. It's remarkable what is happening here. Now, is it remarkable in some senses? Yes, of course it is, but we go back to this point, that China has been a dominant economic power through human history. It comes because of the Central Plain, which I was walking right across between the Yellow River and the Yangtze River. It's an immensely fertile plain. It's surrounded by
2,000 years later.
中国也因为他看了我之前的找的朋友，他也觉得特别好。我妈现在是非常的希望我能回去，但是我今年有一个规划哈。我今年我想，因为我妈特别喜欢种地种菜，然后特别对有机的菜感兴趣，所以我想在北京附近找一个农场，然后有很多比如说也有外国人在帮助，就是参与这个农场，然后我想在那里给他找一份工作，这样他一过来他就有一些英国的说英文的朋友，然后也可以慢慢的融入这个社会，但是这个是秘密，还不要告诉他。这是我的计划。
这后面是爸爸。
这是爸爸啊，这是爸爸。Hello, Dad。
哎，你看这么看的话，那个妹妹确实长得像爸爸。再回忆一下刚才那张照片，
鼻子，注意鼻子，
鼻子、眼睛那个地方真的是
对，
一模一样。
其实我爸他就他来中国，他是第一次来中国是3年之前。他来中国之前不是特别支持，但是他和我后母来到了中国之后，他跟我所有的朋友见面了，他就特别的喜欢这里，也特别的了解我的决定。
那我据我了解，反倒是妈妈更喜欢中国文化。
对，就是我们外国，我在我们的家庭里面，我们不说星座，我们只说你属虎的或者你属兔的，因为我是属虎的。
啊，你是属虎的。
对，所以现在你。
2,000 years later.
上次寄了快递，他们今天终于拿到了。
是吗？太不容易了，多久了
？3个星期是吧？差不多1个月呀，1个月。
太不容易了。
就是啊，我们 现在关键是因为疫情嘛，然后海关那边就是稍微比较忙呀，所以平时以前我记得3天就到了，现在就要3个星期，差距有点大呀。
双黄连口服液寄了吗？
都寄了呀。
茶叶寄了吗？
寄了呀。
还有你们家最喜欢吃的火锅？
都寄了。最关键是我爸爸最喜欢吃的黑木耳。
啊，黑木耳。哎，对了，你妈妈爱吃那个紫菜汤，你寄了吗？
都就忘了方便面。
哎呀，方便面忘了。
塞不下呀。方便面就放不下，就没有。
你小妹妹最喜欢吃那个红烧牛肉面。
对呀。
你们那也买不到。
哎，我这次特别想他们，就是不知道什么时候可以去的，可以回家的。
中国生活不好吗？
中国生活。
2000 years later。
拍视频也可以很容易的去不同的亚洲国家，比如说韩国、泰国、越南。哇，中国的发达突飞猛进了，当今有新鲜感。我的心里每天都告诉我，这里你应该住在这样的地方。你很年轻，你可以跟中国一起继续发展，这样会成功。下一点，我现在在加拿大，因此我没有太合适的学习中文环境。在中国，好像我可以更快的学习中文，跟中国人交流。我知道有一天我会说的流利。下个原因，我觉得在钱的问题上，我可以省下钱，然后投资很多，因为中国的东西。
2000 years later.
Okay, so today I'd like to talk about the Western media, and in particular how negative the Western media are towards China. I've been coming to China for probably 12 years now, and in that time, it's around 8 years here in China, and for the last 2 years I've lived permanently here in Shenzhen. And as I can't read Chinese and as I don't speak a huge amount of Chinese, I want to keep up with the news, so I use an app on my phone called Flipboard. It has to be used with a VPN because I can't openly access Flipboard here in China. But what I've noticed over all that time is that every time I see news about China from Europe, the UK, America especially, that news generally is always pretty negative. I've also seen an increase in that negativity over the last 2 or 3 years, to where almost there's no positive stories or news about China anymore, especially in the US press. But it's not just the US press, it's English press, European press. It's so negative.
2000 years later.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You know, all over America, you go to places, you sit down, and you meet people.
Yeah.
I've been to China.
You've been to China?
Here and there, and I didn't find any.
Bar. No bar place. So where you went? China. Shanghai, Beijing.
Beijing, yeah. I've
Do you
been
like
to
Beijing? How long? Stay there.
2 weeks.
Do you like it?
No.
Why?
No.
Why don't you like it?
Because everybody thinks they're going to make the women that I would meet.
Yeah.
Oh, you come. Buku tiki now.
What that means?
I'm crazy.
When was that?
In Vietnam.
Oh, Vietnam. That's a long time ago. So, but at least you like the scenery there, no?
Oh, I love it. I love
Where
it.
you Beijing for Beijing City?
Yeah. Like when you talk to me, I go, oh my God, I went there.
Bring you back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly. How long have you been in the States?
Oh, long time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
2000 years later.
King's Cross, I would be stranded without tickets. But of course, in China, 3个字, 3 words. Phone is king. It's pretty simple. You can take the 12306 app, or the C-Trip app, or the Tunar app, any one of those, take your passport number, put it in, and you can buy a ticket on the spot and collect it in the station. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this year's high-speed rail network challenge, how far can I get in 12 hours, begins. With the new kind of trains making the whole journey go from 35 to 30 minutes because the train speed's gone up from 300 to 350 kilometers an hour, Tianjin is now probably the most popular commuter town for Beijing, and up until the beginning of this year,